All right, today we're going to dig into some really interesting moves happening in the market. We're talking about independence plays and a silver wake-up call, and we're going to connect some dots that on the surface look totally unrelated.
You know how it is, right? Some days in the market are just all about the numbers, the earnings reports, the hard data, and then other days, it's just a vibe. You can feel it. But today, it's not about either of those. Today is about signals. We're going to look at three completely different events and decode the powerful messages they're sending about confidence, about ambition, and about cold, hard reality. So our first signal comes from a company you might not have heard of called ZeroHash. But wow, what they just did is a masterclass in playing the long game. So who even is ZeroHash? Well, think of them as the AWS of digital assets. They're not flashy, they provide the essential, behind-the-scenes plumbing. We're talking trading, custody, settlement, all the complicated stuff that lets your bank or favorite fintech app offer crypto services. They are the boring but absolutely critical foundation. And this is where it gets good. The company just had a huge decision to make. Reportedly, they had an offer on the table from Mastercard. That's the safe bet, right? The clean exit. Instead, they chose the power play. They decided to stay independent and go raise a huge new round of funding. And honestly, I love this framing. This is the succession move. Cashing out and selling to a giant like Mastercard, that would have been easy, a clean exit for everyone. But by saying no, they're not just choosing a different financial path, they're choosing power. They're choosing control. So what's the signal here? It's confidence. Just absolute pure confidence. They're sending a message to the entire market that they aren't building a little company to get acquired. No, they are building permanent, essential infrastructure for the future of finance. They think we're just getting started. All right, let's move on to our second signal. We're going to see the same theme of ambition, but this time from a fintech giant you definitely know, Revolut. If you're not familiar, Revolut is this massive financial super app from the UK. I mean, since 2015, they've become one of the biggest names in European fintech, all built around the slick, digital, global-first idea of what a bank should be. Now, for years, Revolut has been trying to properly break into the US market. The easy way to do that, the shortcut, just buy a small existing American bank. But see, that comes with all sorts of baggage. Physical branches, clunky old tech, regulatory headaches. So instead, they're choosing the long game, applying for their own US banking license from scratch. And the best way to think about this is that it's less fast and furious, a quick smash and grab. And it's way more Dune. This is a slow, methodical build. It's about planting your flag for the long haul to get total control. The signal here is just pure, unadulterated ambition. Revolut is basically telling everyone that they are so committed to the US that they'd rather wait, potentially for years, to get the perfect setup rather than compromise their core identity for a quick win. That's a huge statement. Okay, so for our third and final signal, we're going to zoom way, way out. We're moving from specific company strategies to the entire global market. And the wake-up call is coming from a very unexpected place. Silver. Just let that number sink in. Its biggest single-day price jump in nearly half a century. This isn't just your normal market volatility. This is what traders call a something just broke kind of move. It's when the market suddenly and violently wakes up and reprices something. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. What on earth is going on here? Why silver? And why now? Well, it turns out it's a pretty potent cocktail of factors. You've got the classic stuff, right? People worried about inflation, getting anxious about the US dollar. But at the same time, you've got this soaring industrial demand from solar panels and electronics. Throw in a really tight global supply and this renewed interest in owning real, tangible stuff, and boom, you get the perfect storm. And this is what makes silver so unique. It lives at this weird intersection. On one hand, it's a monetary metal. It's a store of value, kind of like its cousin, gold. But on the other hand, it is a critical industrial commodity that we need to build the future. And that dual nature makes it super sensitive when big economic stories start to change. So what's the big signal from silver? It's a signal of reality. It's the market grabbing us by the shoulders and reminding us that no matter how deep we get into tech stocks or crypto narratives, the fundamental forces of macroeconomics, inflation, supply, demand, they still matter. And they can interrupt the party at any moment.
So there we have it, 3 really different stories. A crypto infrastructure firm, a fintech super app, and an ancient precious metal. Let's connect the dots and see what they're all telling us together. So let's just lay it all out. You had ZeroHash choosing control over a quick cash out, signaling massive confidence. You had Revolut choosing patience over a shortcut, signaling huge ambition. And then you had Silver's explosive move, signaling the undeniable reality of the macro economy. 3 different players, 3 different moves, but 3 very powerful signals about where money and markets might be heading. So these are the signals we're picking up today. And that really just leaves us with one big question, right? What are the signals that we should all be watching for tomorrow?